Check the sound real quick. Oh, I hear no sound. What's going on? Okay, more time, Chris. Shalom, Israel. This is Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We are led by Commanding General YAHANNA. And today's I.S.U.P.K Tuesday Brotherhood class. You understand? We are going to go over a couple of things, you know what I'm saying, that's very important and vital to our nation. You understand? This very topic being the duties and understanding what marriage truly is according to the Bible. You understand? Everything that we teach comes from the Bible. The wisdom that we have in I.S.U.P.K comes directly from the Bible. The structure, everything about this comes. It's a book on how we should live our life, right? It's a blueprint. You know what I'm saying? The biggest blueprint upon the face of the earth into us being the best people. That's why the Lord gave it to us. The Lord gave the Bible to us to be the best people. And in doing that, we have to know how to love one another. And it all starts at home, as some people may like to say, right? So the first thing that we have to understand is what consummates marriage. According to the Bible, contrary to popular Christian belief, is not going to the altar. It is not signing some documents. Biblically, sex is marriage. You understand? And we are able to prove that. If you could, sir, could you give me Genesis chapter 24 and 67? You understand? The Bible tells us what consummates marriage and what marriage truly is. You understand? It's not going to the courthouse. It's not going to the church house and walking down and jumping the broom. That's not what marriage truly is. And understanding what marriage truly is after we bring out this precept, it's going to, Lord allow, it makes us think of a wiser way and be more responsible with ourselves. You understand? Genesis 24 and 67, Bible Kushah. Lord allow this makes us more wiser about the things that we do. Because what we're going to understand is, for one, sex is not recreational. It is not something that you should do with just anybody. It is something that you should definitely do after getting to know somebody. No matter how long it takes, get to know that person. Take your time. Court one another. It's like nowadays dating and courting is a dead art. But in the I.S.U.P.K, we practice such things. We have a 6-month rule in the I.S.U.P.K. You understand? Well, we have to court one another. Hell, sometimes it goes on longer than that. Because once you do this, it cannot be undone. You cannot, Salaki for my words, but you cannot unscrew somebody. Once it's done, it's done. You understand? Y'all are now one. If you could, sir, do you have that?
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 24, verse 67.
Mm-hmm.
And Isaac brought her into his mother Sarah's tent.
And he brought this beautiful sister named Rebecca into his tent, into his mother's tent after she passed away. You understand? Now, after your mother passed away, what is something that you may feel?
Grief.
You may feel grief. You understand? But one thing that a woman can bring into a man's life is she could help cope. You understand? If you could, sir, keep reading.
And took Rebecca.
And took. What do you think it means when it says and took? Of course, it was consensual. This was an agreement. If you don't know the story of Isaac and Rebecca and the links that and the kind of woman that Rebecca was, you know what I'm saying? When Abraham sent the servant out to go look for a sister, and Rebecca just passed everything with flying colors, and they brought him back I mean, it's like they brought her back to Isaac. You understand? You will understand that what kind of sister Rebecca truly was. This sister, they was looking for a woman just to bring him the brother water, I believe. This sister sat up here and brought everybody water and the horses. You understand? This is the kind of sister Rebecca was, and this is one of our foremothers. If you could, sir, can you read that one more time?
And took Rebekah.
And took, that means they did the deed. They did what lovers do. You know what I'm saying? They became one. He took Rebecca. He took her through there. You understand? So like, you go right ahead.
So, like, if I could, if you look up the definition in the Bible of what it meant by took, according to what it's talking about right here, it's talking about laid hold of.
Ooh, he laid hold of. You understand? And that is such a beautiful thing. It didn't say that they went to no altar. It didn't say that they signed no papers. It said that they laid down and he took her. And it's such a righteous thing. It's such a beautiful thing to be able to consensually take somebody and love that person that you have now binded yourself with. If you could, I don't want to continue to read, Bible Show.
And she became his wife.
Once again, it does not say that there was any kind of papers involved. It didn't say that there was some kind of what that was the matrimony. You know what I'm saying? That was the altar. That bed was the altar. You understand? I'm gonna tell y'all. I'm gonna give our people some game real quick, and I'm gonna help y'all understand something. That there is not a ring, there's not a gemstone, there's not a ruby, a diamond, a pearl more valuable than yourself, more valuable than your body. Once we understand that, maybe our households, maybe there will not be breakups. Because guess what? A breakup is not a regular thing. That's not how the Most High God meant for us to deal with one another. Breakups are not normal. But yet today, in today's time, it is common. You understand? But once you take somebody, that is something forever. Now y'all are indebted a duty to one another. It's just not a one-sided thing. Both sides have duties. You understand? And we're gonna get into some of those duties because it is not the American traditional way. This is how we are to deal with one another so righteously. A woman has duties and men have duties. You understand? If you could, sir, can you read the rest of that Bible show?
And he loved her.
And he loved her. You understand? Do you know what love means? Love, one of the definitions of love that I've learned in my life is love is what you are willing to do for somebody. Love ain't just, it ain't always 50-50. Hell, it ain't always 100%. Sometimes you might have to compensate. Sometimes you might have to hurt. Sometimes you might have to go through some kind of pain because of love. Because there is a duty of love. And biblically, there are no breakups. So once you in it for life. You can't undo what you just did. So that's why we have to be responsible with our bodies. We have to be responsible who we give ourselves to. You understand? And really just lock in and really choose the right one. You know, I understand a man can have more than one wife, but everything ain't expedient. You understand? Everything ain't expedient. So it might be, you know, you might be a man of one wife or a man of none. But understand, once you do that, you have a duty to uphold. You understand? Marriage it's a job. It's a job that you gotta show up for each and every day, even if you don't feel like it or not. It's gonna be times where you are burnt out, but you still gotta show up. Cause you show up for your job, show up for your marriage. No matter what you go through, marriage will be tested, especially in times like this where we are almost so close to the end. Expect to be tested. Expect to go through things. You understand? Because time is short. And we got to realize that we are all we have. Black, Latino, and Native American men and women, we are all we have. So let's do what Isaac did and love one another. You understand? Salaki, if I may, can you read the rest of that Bible show?
And Isaac was comforted after his mother's death.
And he was comforted by after his mother's death, after suffering something so terrible. He was comforted because there is a certain comfort that a woman can bring into a man's life. But sis, you gotta understand what that comfort is. That comfort don't come in the form of nagging. That comfort don't come in the form of grudges. That comfort comes in the form of tenderness, being tender. You understand? Being something that will make a man's heart melt. That can make a man be comforted after suffering such a devastation in your life. There's a level of comfort that a woman could bring in a man's life after he suffers losing somebody he loved, losing the first woman he ever loved. Now imagine that, sister. Imagine that. Imagine what you can do when you lock in on your true femininity. I want y'all to do y'all research on what kind of sister Rebecca truly was. This was an outstanding sister. The women that we come from, they are the epitome of a wife. And sisters, this is my challenge to you. Be like Rebecca. Be like Esther. Y'all don't understand just how much power women truly have through femininity. Your strength ain't trying to be a man. Your strength ain't how good you cuss and argue. Your strength is submission. And we're gonna get into that, Salaki. So if you could, can you drop that and give me 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 3? Because understand, submission means that there is a structure. There is a set structure within that household that we have to follow. And guess what? When you follow this, it's gonna make your house run like a well-oiled machine. Salaki, so you got some? It's gonna make your house run like a well-oiled machine. If you could, sir, do you have that? Come, sir.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 3. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ.
That the head of every man is Christ. Now, this is rank and order. This is structure. The head of every man should be Christ. We should follow and be like Christ and emulate the ways that he showed us to love one another and bring that into our household. Bring the spirit of the Most High into our household. You understand anything else on that, sir?
And the head of the woman is the man.
And the head of a woman is man. Now, sisters, like I said before, your strength will be in submission. When you hear submission, what do women think when they hear submission nowadays? Yo, go ahead, sir.
Most women, when they hear about submission, that means kind of like a tap out or being weak behind someone, instead of them really knowing that submission is like a way to make a man tender for you.
Ooh, submission is how you gonna get that whatever you want. When you submit, women think of being a slave or something like that. That's not what submission is. Submission is being nice, being kind, not being overbearing, being a help, and not being a burden. Now, I understand everything ain't gonna be perfect all the time, but how you handle situations is another form of submission, because there's a way to handle things within your household, and it does not always require arguing. That's all, and this is on both sides. It does not always require arguing. It does not always require yelling, being mad, slamming doors. That's not how that's not how we're gonna get this together. The way we're gonna get it together is being kind to one another. And sisters, that's the bare minimum of submission. It is so much more to it, because it's so many more duties to marriage. Every day is a new duty. Every day is a new challenge. Every day you're not gonna wake up at 100%, but it's going to take effort. Hell, in some situations, you're gonna have to take care of that person physically. Marriage is going to show you who you truly are. It's going to expose you for who you really are. And that's the beauty of it. It's gonna show you what you can handle because you will be tested. That's why it is important to choose the right one. It is important that we know who we gonna deal with. It's important to know who we give our bodies to. You understand? And on another note, Salakia, but your body ain't for everybody, sis. You only supposed to submit to one man. One man. After you leave your father's house, you supposed to submit to one man. It ain't supposed to be Larry, Jerry, and I shouldn't have to ask your body count. That shouldn't even be a conversation. If we understood that sex was marriage, this would not be a conversation. But because we have been living under the oppressor for so long, we took on their ways. Y'all took on their woman ways. But this is not how our woman is. This is not how our women operate. We have to get up out of this operation that we've been living in up under America and really lock in and hone in on our true culture, which is the Bible. You understand? Because, we tried it their way. We tried living life their way. We tried to be the what is it called? The traditional husband. Now, what was the rate of abuse around that time? Being the traditional husband, we got to go to work and break your back for long hours. We tried it their way. It does not work. Now let's try the Lord's way. Let's be what the Lord called us to be. The Lord calls us, he told us we above everybody. That means everything that we do is above them, including our marriage. Now, brothers and sisters, understand, and after this lesson, I pray we understand. I pray that this softens our heart and whatever you go through. You understand? Because it is a duty. It is a job. You understand? Because once you lay down with somebody, you can't undo it. You in this for life. Welcome to death row, nigga. Like, you in this for life. Till death do us part. You understand? Can you read that one more time from the top, sir?
This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 11, verse 3. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ.
The head of every man is Christ. Every man should be spirit-led. You understand? If the spirit of the Lord is not in your household, it is bound to fail. You understand? So, like, sir, if you could you give me Psalms 1:1 Bible shot, sir? Because Psalms 1:1 tells us how a man is supposed to be. You understand? A man tells the Bible tells a man how what to do and what not to do, how to live and how not to live. You got that, sir?
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 1, verse 1. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly.
Blessed is the man that walk in the counsel of that not walk. So, like, can you read that one more time?
Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly.
That walketh not, meaning you cannot be of this world and think you can control your house. You understand? You cannot be of this world and think if you are of this world, you can't lead yourself. You will lead yourself into destruction. That's why the I.S.U.P.K is important, because it will teach a man how to be a husband. It will teach a wife how to be a sister, how to be a wife. You understand? It will teach you how to suffer. Because in here, you will suffer. You will go through things, but you got to have long suffering, longevity. You know what I'm saying? Stamina. It's going to test your endurance. But you got to do what the Bible says and endure to the end. You understand? Anything else on that, sir?
Nor standeth in the way of sinners.
And nor standing in the way of sinners. You have to allow Christ to be your head. Because Christ laid the foundation on how to serve the Most High God. Did he not? Did he not show us how to be a better brother? Well, should that not trickle down to your household? Is brotherhood not including marriage as well? You know what I'm saying? It just, brotherhood, it just don't include the brothers. Literally, it includes the sisters as well. You understand? Brotherhood it should be implemented in all aspects of life when dealing with one another. Brothers, sisters, whatever. Wives, husbands, it should be implemented in all things. Kids, because we forget the kids. You gotta treat them kids with kindness and you know what I'm saying, not belittling them. Because I see that a lot in our people. We have that bad right now where we belittle the next generation that gotta raise our generations. You understand? We have to set the standard on what it is to be a righteous husband and a righteous wife. You understand? Because they are watching us. They have to see mommy and daddy love one another so they know what to look for. So they ain't gonna fall for the okie doke. So they're not gonna fall for no sucker. So he not just gonna fall for any kind of women that winks and smiles at him real nice. You understand? We not a nation of suckers. Believe that. But I mean, we've been falling for the okie doke for so long. We have tried every way of America and it's not working. So let's try it this way. You understand anything else on that, sir?
Nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful.
Nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. You understand? We're gonna drop it on that. Give me. Matter of fact, I'm a. What was that? What was that?
Psalms 1 and 1.
Yeah. Nah, I had a preset for that. 1 second, man. It was heavy. Oh, give me 1 Timothy 3 and 4. Give me 1 Timothy 3 and 4. You understand? Because you know the Bible already said we have to be a man that does not walk in the counsel of the ungodly. So that means we have to stand on business for the Most High God. We have to set a standard in our household. We are the regulators as brothers. We as men, we are the regulators in our household. You know what I'm saying? Does the Bible not say that nothing can enter into a strong man's house? How do you get strong? How do you do that? By following the Most High God, by abiding by his laws, statutes, commandments, by standing on business for the Lord, man. That's how you will fortify your house. Because why? Nothing can enter into a strong man's house. And you have to be strong. And sometimes your strength gonna be tested. That's right. Because we go through things on an everyday scale. We go through things on an everyday basis that test our strength. Right. You understand? That's why it takes endurance. It takes wise counsel. It takes us being able to go and understand every situation that comes our way and foresee it. Khan, so you got something?
If I could, brother, what you're bringing out is so heavy because based off of that last precept that you pulled in Psalms 1 and 1, like you got to be mindful of who you are listening to and who you receive counsel from. Because if you don't, you're going to get counsel from somebody that wanted your marriage to fail from the beginning.
Right.
You're going to sit here and go to that same exact person that's been looking at your husband for years on years and wish that it was them that got married to him than you. So, brothers and sisters, be mindful. Some of them partners that you talk to, brother, they've been wanting your lady. They've been looking at your old lady for a while now. So they waiting on y'all to get into that argument because what they gonna tell you to do next, man? Let's go out to the club. Let's go ahead and get drunk, man. Let's get on some ladies, some tenderonis and all this other stuff. And then what they're gonna try to do, they're gonna try to push you to go have sex with one of them just so they can come back and tell your wife, man, hey, he went out. That boy was wild. That boy ended up, smacking something that same night just for her to leave. And then all of a sudden, now they together.
Right.
Be careful and be mindful of who you getting counsel from, man.
Right.
Don't go and get counsel from the ungodly. You need to get some counsel from the men of the Lord here in the I.S.U.P.K because they're going to show you the way to keep a marriage strong. And keeping a marriage strong means not only are y'all one, but your kids have an opportunity to break the generational curses as well. Because what you are doing in front of your children are going to copy it.
Right.
Good
Absolutely.
and bad. So if they see that you're yelling and screaming at each other all in the household, what you think they're gonna start doing? Yelling and screaming in the schools, yelling and screaming at each other. If they see that mommy and daddy's always fighting, what do you think they gonna do? They gonna be fighters as well. And it's gonna be for the wrong things, not the righteous things.
Right.
So we just have to be very mindful of what we do and who we receive counsel from. But brother, go ahead, keep doing what you're doing, dropping it heavy.
Hey man, get that mighty priest in hand, man. Get that mighty priest in hand because he told no lie. You have to be mindful about where you receive your counsel from, because all counsel ain't good counsel, as we read in Psalms 1:1. You understand? I've heard many stories about the counsel of the Christian church. Oh yeah, I heard about a lot about their private counsel with your wife. They are one of the leading reasons why there are so many divorces, including the one that happened in my household personally. You understand that they are the leading reasons of why our people get divorced at such a high rate. You understand? But you know, it's a wise counsel in the earth that's been here since 1969. You understand? And we get our counsel from the Bible. We the things that we will tell our people comes directly from these scriptures. So it is wise counsel, and everybody can't teach this Bible. But we in I.S.U.P.K, we are authorized to give these counsels, these righteous counsels. And at the end of the day, those counsels are to help us stay together, to gain a brother, to gain a sister, to gain a son, to gain a daughter. You understand? But there's a ungodly counsel out here that's meant to divide. You understand? Because you know the Christian church, they are not authorized for anything. Your partner ain't authorized for anything. He gonna tell you to go do everything that's going to put a stain on your house, and then come in and try to save the day. And like, man, see, you know, I always have my eyes on you. You know, he ain't gonna treat you right, but me, you know, we call that dirty macking. You know what I'm saying? We call that dirty macking. That happens on a high rate, and that's one of the reasons why there's so much gun violence in our community. Right there, is behind. Man, could I say adultery? You know what I'm saying? But if you do that, man, that'll solve so many problems. If you follow righteous counsel. You understand? Salaki, sir. You got 1 Timothy 5:8. If you could, sir.
5:8 or 3 and 4.
3 and 4. Thwada, I appreciate you. 3 and 4.
Don't sweat, I got you.
Thwada.
This is the book of 1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 4. One that ruleth well in his own house, having his children in subjection with all gravity.
In subjection with all gravity. Do you know what this scripture alone? Matter of fact, before class, Salaki, before class started, I seen some black and brown brothers outside, some black and Hispanic brothers in Houston fighting, and then guns started sparking. 2 brothers got shot. For one, we should not be out there fighting in the first place. But I seen somebody comment and say, where are their fathers? Well, what's our answer? This is how it should be. If we have our children in subjection, that would have never happened. That would have never been a thing if we had our children in subjection. That's what it means, to protect our kids from everything, to teach our kids how to be righteous, to teach our kids how to be better than us, to teach our kids how not to be violent towards one another, how not to fight one another. If this was our kingdom, that would have never occurred. But in this kingdom, that happened. And now 2 young men are now in critical condition over something probably petty. I mean, what problems do you have in high school? You understand? But if we have our household in order, this would never be a thing. This will never be a thing in our community. You understand? It starts at home. And that is us having our household, our kids in subjection. And that does not mean in a wrathful way. That means teaching as the scriptures say, raise your kids up in the way that they should go, and they would not depart from it. whether they under your supervision or not. Wherever they go, they're gonna carry a righteous spirit and know how to move and operate under without you having to keep an eye on them. You understand? We gotta be mindful that whatever we do, our kids are watching. You understand? Because kids are a byproduct of marriage, is it not? So this goes right into this. We have to come back to our laws, statutes, commandments, and this is going to make us a mighty nation. This is going to make us a mighty people. Far better than what we are right now. You understand? Because we are at the bottom of the barrel to the point our kids are unaliving one another because we fail to have them in subjection. Go ahead, sir.
Salakia, that's why the Bible says train up a child in the way that they should go, so that way when they get older that they do not depart.
Right.
If you are too busy showing your kids what it is to be the biggest gangster, the biggest drug dealer, the biggest crash out, what do you think your children are going to be? Your children are going to follow behind your training. You're training them to be crash outs and drug dealers and gangbangers. But if you would do like the book of Psalms, chapter 1, verse 2, where it says, and it said, meditate. I'm about to actually get that scripture for you, bro.
Right. Concept.
In Psalms chapter 1, verse 2, it says, but his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law does he meditate day and night. See, as adults, if we would sit here and do our job and delight ourselves in the law of the Most High God, following these laws, statutes, and commandments, having brotherhood and sisterhood, knowing how to take care of one another, knowing how to communicate with one another, knowing how to properly love one another, then we'll be able to teach our children to not be associated with the same things that the oppressor has been associated with.
Absolutely.
The oppressors are the ones that started these gang violence. The oppressors is the one that started putting the drugs in the communities that we live in.
Right.
They're sitting here making us hate one another when really and truthfully, if you go back into the hands of time, you will see that we were able to live with one another.
Right.
And we were doing good.
Right.
We didn't have all these wars. We didn't have all these problems until the colonizers, until these oppressors started to come around and started stirring up drama, start stirring up problems. So what you saying, brother, is super heavy.
Right.
It's our duty as the parents to know how to love one another, communicate with one another, so that way we can train up our children and have them in subjection, so that way they're not sitting here following behind others besides us, because we don't know how to run our households.
Right. So Salaki, if I may, I just want to pull some up real quick. Give me a brief moment. Because this is how you know that what this brother just said is absolutely facts. Let me see some. And 2026. Let's see how many school pew-pews were done by the oppressor's kids in just 2026 alone. Let me see something real quick. Let's see. All right, you know what? We're gonna give a whole timeline from 1982 to 2016. The white race has been approximately 87% of mass unalivings since the 80s. It's been far more than that, of course. But this is my point. We've learned from them. You got something, sir?
Okay, if I could, brother. You
right
said
ahead,
how many school shootings since 2026, right?
Since 1982 to 2026.
Brother, right now in 2026, there's already been stated that there was 14 incidents of shootings from kindergarten through 12th grade just in 2026.
Gosh. Kindergarten?
From kindergarten through 12th grade, resulting in injuries or death, about 14 incidents have been recorded in 2026 by the Education Week.
I mean, the Lord did say that they were wicked from the womb. You understand? Kindergarten is insane. I mean, damn. Like, he ain't even learn how to ride a bike without the wheels yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't even, you just off the Similac.
Brother, it's so many people, they don't care what grade these kids is in. They'll come in elementary schools and try to shoot it up. They'll come to middle schools and try to shoot it up, and they'll come to high schools and try to shoot it up. Brother, if I could, just real quick,
sir.
I remember when I was in high school, a brother brought 12 dozen roses for his girlfriend for Valentine's Day after he found out that his girlfriend was cheating on him. Inside the roses, they had a grenade in there. They ended up having a bomb threat shutdown, lockdown of my school. Whoa. They had SRO officers that worked at the school. He had that mug pushed down in the midst of the roses because he was pissed off, mad that he found out that she was cheating on him. But at our school, before you bring something in, they had to look through it. So luckily, the brother didn't have that pin pulled, because we was like, how did you even find a way to have like a grenade or a makeshift bomb inside some roses? But they had a whole, I'm talking about bomb threat, shutdown, lockdown from all the surrounding schools. They had us go into, like, you had to go into the corners of the room and bunker down and everything.
Was he white?
Kind.
Of course. Of course. That's crazy. Cause where the hell you get a grenade from in the first place? But that's neither here nor there. But
Salaka, brother, you know them people got resources.
Yeah, that brother Dev was tapped in. You know what I'm saying? But this is who we learn how to be fathers from. Those are who we learn how to be husbands from. Despite being 70% of the population, they are the leaders in mass. So who are they able to ever teach? They're the leaders and Salakia child stuff. You know what I'm saying? They are the leading in sex crimes. Who are they to ever teach us about what romance is? I mean, damn, bestiality, even the dog ain't safe. These are who we are learning from, how to be husbands, wives. So of course we are going to live a degenerate lifestyle because look at who our teacher has been. The guy not say we are your father the devil. Well, who is the devil? We've learned from the devil. It just so happens that the oppressor is the devil the Bible speaks of, and we need to stop living like them. Because look at our kids now. Our kids took on their ways, and look at them. That fight was terrible. I can't even play it because it get the whole YouTube shut down. It was terrible. And then you hear the gunshots going on. You see the young brothers dropping. That should never have been an incident. That's why it is important that we have our household in subjection. And that does not mean cruelty. That means with the wisdom and understanding of the law, statutes, commandments, because the law, statutes, commandments saves lives. Not only just your own, but others as well. It will save our community if we come back to serving the Most High God.